Hey guys, today I wanted to try out the Fabriano Artistico 100% cotton watercolor paper that I got in my paper haul a while back. There are two sheets each of cold pressed and hot pressed. Today I'm going to be using the hot press and I'll be showing you how I painted this cute little fawn on it. The other day I saw a deer out on the side of the road standing in a bunch of flowers and he looked so adorable I just knew I had to paint me some deer. So I grabbed a reference photo from Pinterest and I just imagined the grass and the flowers. Before I get too far though, it would be awesome if you guys could like and subscribe if you haven't already. I was really nervous about trying this paper out. I didn't want to waste any, and I was also kind of worried that I wouldn't like it. I have grabbed so many art supplies thinking that they would somehow magically make me a better artist, and that somehow with better supplies I wouldn't have to fight with them, but I have been tricked before. Also, I was kind of worried that I would like them because dang, this paper is expensive. This little sample pack that I'm using only cost me about $2 at Jerry's Artarama, and there are four 7x10 sheets in them, but the bigger packs are pretty pricey, which is kind of expected because you're going to be paying more for cotton paper than not. But as soon as I started laying down the paint, I knew right away that this paper was awesome. It spread so beautifully, and the paints blended and soaked right into the paper in all the right ways. I was able to do so much scrubbing and play with it a lot more than a regular Canson watercolor paper. I just heard though that Canson has some 100% cotton paper, so I'm going to have to give that a try too. I'm pretty sure that the reason this is better than other watercolor paper that I've tried is the cotton. It's the cotton. I feel like I'm a real watercolor artist now. Anyway, the only problem I had, and I'm not sure if it's me or the paper to be honest, I could not lift up anything after it had dried. Part of it was a good thing because I could layer and layer and everything stayed put really nicely. Once I got the colors mixed up that I wanted, I blocked in the fur. First I used the lightest shades and then I gradually added more darker colors. It's his entire body, so I really didn't want to be focused on individual hairs or fur, just in some areas that needed like a little bit of the scruff on his neck, behind his front leg, and around his booty and tail. And even then, I'm just trying to give hints of fur clumps and direction. I really don't want to go crazy. I chose with this painting to leave the white spots on his back until the end so I could just focus on layering the colors and darkening up as I needed to, which ended up being a lot because I have never seen my paint lighten up as much as it did with this paper. And I mean that in a good way. I love layering and it really gives you dimension and so much room to correct your mistakes or add more details. That's usually where I have a major problem with watercolor is I accidentally go too dark, too fast, thinking that it's going to lighten up a little and it never does. Once I blocked in the darker areas, I spent a lot of time adding glazes of darker reddish browns. I wanted to keep the background simple but not plain, so I added kind of like a messy wash of green to the back. I pre-wet the area, trying to be careful to avoid where I'd already painted the deer, and I put a more concentrated color closer to him and used a damp brush to kind of push the excess out to the edges. And then I came back through and softened out most of those edges. That's mostly like 70% of my process. I put down the paint and I use a brush that has little to no paint on it and soften out the brush strokes, or to lift up some of the colors so that it isn't so harsh. I used a hairdryer to dry it up, and man, that green just lightened up a lot. I thought about maybe adding another layer to darken it some, but I actually love the lightness of it, and knowing my luck, if I had gone over it again, I probably would have ruined it in some way. So I went back just to adding more color to the deer and fixing a few spots where the green had seeped into them a little bit. For the grass, I just kind of went crazy, adding as much bushy strokes in all different directions. I did this in a few layers. I kind of wish that I'd stopped at the grass and not added the flowers, but I was still so stubborn in trying to make it look like that fawn I'd seen outside. They don't look awful, but as I edited this video, I really wish that I'd left it like just plain grass. For all of his white spots and a few highlights here and there, I used white gouache from Winsor & Newton. I love this for highlights, and you can always tone it down just a little bit with a little bit more water. I really enjoyed painting this deer, and this paper was just a dream to paint on. I am definitely going to have to invest in a bunch more cotton papers. I can see where there are a lot of techniques that you just can't get in the non-cotton papers, and this paper didn't pill up once trying to scrub or fix an area. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.